Hey guys, welcome to another week of WoW Weekly with Myst. WoW's 19th anniversary is still going on. It will continue to go on until December 7th. You have plenty of time to do stuff. They've made it pretty easy this year. So there is, of course, the Azir World Chiller mount that I had mentioned in my last video. That is a 100% drop rate off of Doomwalker. And you can get to him through the Caverns of Time portal. Little Frostwing, just through the mail. He's in your little pack that also includes your 19% buff. And then also there's the originals, which I totally forgot I'd even done a video. I noticed this past week it was getting a little more traction, so I'll link it at the end of this video in case you guys are interested. But the quest, the originals, when you do that, you will now get a chance of 441 gear. Basically, it's just all the dragons, and then there's a few that are depending on the day. They cycle out. So basically every day you can go kill Lord Kazakh, who's out in Blasted Lands, and he'll be over at Tainted Forest at 3249. Azir is in Ashara, and it'll be at the Secret Lab. Coordinates are 4984. And then there's the 4 Dragons of Nightmare. So I will let you know where they're located and their locations. So if it's a Sandra that's up, you can find that one at Farilaz at the Dreamer's Rest. Coordinates are 5110. If it's a Lethon that's up, then that's Hinterlands, which you'll find them by Seradane. Coordinates are 6327. If it's Emerus that's up, that'll be at Duskwood. He's in the middle of the Twilight Grove at 4638. And then the final one is Terrar, who is located in Ashenvale, just east of Forest Song at 9340. And you have a chance of a piece of loot off of each one of those every day. You know, aside from the 4 that cycle out, you know, there's always, when it comes to the last 4 that I mentioned, only one of those 4 will appear per day, but you'll always have Kazakh and Azir and then one of those 4. So you'll have 3 chances of 441 gear. And of course, as always, you get the achievement. So most of you guys probably saw that already, but for those that are coming into the anniversary a little late, that's what you can expect to get. And that is just new stuff. You, of course, can go do Korax Revenge, and all the old stuff is still available. Speaking of buffs, Pilgrim's Bounty is going on. So prior to Pilgrim's Bounty, you were getting your 19% from the WoW anniversary. Now that Pilgrim's Bounty is in the picture, you get a total of 29%. So Pilgrim's Bounty will be there until November 26th. So you basically got this entire week to take advantage of it. And of course, you know, the other weeklies are Arena Skirmish for this week, and the PvP Brawl will be Gravity Lapse. Also worth noting that there is a Black Friday sale going on the Battle.net. It doesn't involve mounts and pets and stuff like that. It's just games. So if you were interested in any other types of games. Okay, so on to news. I thought we'd start with right now type news, stuff going on in retail at the moment. So I've got more than usual. Usually it's just all PTR. We do have a lot of PTR news today, though. So there's the echoed Ephemera drops that were bugged. Cap was increased to 10 per week. So right here you can see, you know, to clarify expectations, players should be able to acquire a maximum of 10 per week with a rising cap as the season progresses. If they have fallen behind, raid bosses are intended to always drop 2 to 3 until the cap is reached. Also, they are now restricting WoW token purchases on November 21st. Now, when you don't read the fine print, you might instantly get upset about this. You know, it's really not as bad as people are making it out to be, or you might even assume off of first hearing me mention it. But basically all it means is, like, the fine print kind of says that that's only the case if you've never bought time before. So all you got to do is just buy 1 month of time and then you're back to normal, right? So yeah, so basically it says, as of November 21st, 2023, any player who cannot purchase a WoW token for gold in-game will need to first purchase and consume at least 30 days of game time for real money. I think the part that probably is getting people is the consume part, though, because it's purchase 30 days and consume it. So basically what that means is that you're kind of on a 1 month probation. You know, like yeah. To be fair, I don't use that system. I pay, you know, it comes off my credit card every month. It has for almost 20 years. And it's just, I've never even thought of paying for time with gold. Like, yeah, every time I've had a token in my hand, it's been for gold in game, not game time. So I wouldn't say it's like a huge minority it affects, but I'm just going to say, like, there's a higher population of us that just prefer to pay cash to play the game. That way we're not spending all our time farming gold to keep playing the game. Yeah. Now, I will say this does seem to really just sort of affect newer players, because it does say it's for players who haven't purchased game time since like 2017. So like, really, if you haven't purchased game time since then, you're probably a new player anyway, because, you know, we couldn't always pay for time through gold, right? So clearly you're a new player if you've never actually bought game time. Because that was the only way for a long time. Next, we have this item, the Incandescent Essence. So this is an reusable helm enchantment that changes based off your spec from a quest chain that's in Amadressel. And it's a reward for collecting several quest items off bosses in the raid. You get it like immediately. I remember I got this quest like right when I entered. The quest will drop off the first boss kill, and it's the Twisting Dream Essence. And then you turn that in to Marithra, who's in the raid and can be easily walked right past. So, you know, keep a lookout for her. Her quest is an Essence of a Broken Dream. And yeah, so this is where you gotta kill Agira, Luridar, Keeper of the Flame, Smoldrin, and Tindril, as well as getting 50 echoed Ephemera. And here are the different versions of the enchantment, depending on what spec you are. Also, this was announced too. So this is a Murloc Pillow. Has to do with Secret Lab. So you can expect the pillow to be pricey. And it's okay. I love my Murlocs, and I would love a Murloc pillow, but this is not what I had in mind, you know? Okay, I'm just gonna put it out there. It's ugly. Okay, it's just ugly. It looks weird. Yeah, not something I'm interested in. But, you know, give me like, you know, a normal looking pillow, and, yeah. These are, what do they call them? Lumbar pillows, I believe. And they're meant for your computer chair, which is, you know, a reason why Secret Lab would have them. I always either I don't buy the chair if I see one of those pillow things on it, or I find a way to remove the pillow. Usually they're just detachable anyway. But yeah, I hate those kind of chairs. So this is not something I would use at all anyway. But at least they're giving a nice little theme for WoW players if you do use those. I just find them very uncomfortable. And yeah, I have to have just me in the chair, no added pillows and stuff. Also, character boosts are going to be raised or have been raised to level 70 for the, this is the Renown boost for base Dragonflight factions. So when you boost a character, you'll have Renown 20 with Dragonscale, Merrick's, Iskara, Veldraken. You'll have Renown 12 with Loam. You won't have any Renown with Dream Wardens, though. Too new, I guess. But yeah, you do have a boost with your Renown there. You'll also have a full set of item level 424 gear. Keep in mind, not upgradable. It'll just be, you know, it's purple. It's not green. I can see it's purple in this picture, but it's not upgradable. So yeah, that's your freshly boosted level 70 character right there. Also, one thing I noticed, and I actually really like this, but when I went to go take the portal to go to my M+, I noticed this whole new portal room. And yeah, and I really like the idea of a specifically designed portal room for your M+, especially now that we are going all over the place for our keys. You know, they've got all these different expansions in the mix now. So you're not really sticking to Dragonflight for them. And yeah, so I really like that. I found it looked kind of tacky just being out in the city in Veldraken, you know. But yeah, this is what it looks like when you enter. And yeah, I think it looks a lot cleaner. Okay, so let's talk PTR stuff. So there's quite a bit of stuff going on. There always is. You ever notice that when they drop the PTR is just always massive. It's never like just gradually thrown in. It is always so massive on that first week. Here we have this picture. So World of Warcraft Dragonflight Seeds of Renewal. You can see Dragonriding unlocks worldwide. Azerothian Archives, Reclaiming Gilneas, Dragonflight Follower Dungeons, Dragonel Epilogues, Troll and Draenei customizations, Love in the Air, Holiday Update, additional Warlock Demon customizations, and we're going to see a lot of that in this video. I can show you pretty much most of that. Okay, so for starters, let's talk Dragonriding. So Dragonriding is going to be limited to 80% of the maximum speed outside of Dragon Isles. This is part of the Outland Cup announcement. Dragonriding's pretty fast. I don't think people are going to really care too much. Like, it's still faster. No, like, yeah, I don't really care. Okay, so moving on to Love is in the Air updates. There is a lot, and they are all gorgeous. So the first one I thought we'd go over is the Proto Drake for Dragonriding. So this is going to be another saddle. And like them all, it'll be a grind. Yeah, because they all have been kind of low drop rate. So yeah, this will be the Love Armor Renowned Proto Drake saddle that you can add to your customization. And I know we said that we're going over Love is in the Air, but since I'm talking on saddles, there was also a Lunar Festival one announced. So, so this is it here. This is the Lunar Festival armor. Okay, so back to Love is in the Air stuff. So we have this cute little Friendship Fox. He's adorable. Comes from the trading post. There's also Reigns of the Twilight Sky Prowler and Reigns of the Soaring Sky Fox. I only know that the pink one comes from the trading post. The purple and blue one, no source yet. I'm thinking that one of those will be a store mount and the other maybe, I don't know, maybe a rare drop or something. There's also going to be the Heartseeker Mana Ray. This is a new vendor mount. So this will be worth 270 currency on your Love is in the Air vendor. And it is a bind on pickup. Just for those that are interested, I know that was my first thought when I knew that there was a new vendor. I was like, is it BOE? Can I sell it? Because there's that other one that, was a gold farm for a lot of us, and you could make good money. You sell those suckers after the event ends. Yeah, at least back when everyone was going after it, it was, I don't know how well they sell, but this guy is bind on pickup, so you're not going to be able to sell him. There's also the Love is in the Air armor, and these are beautiful. I love them. So we have the pink one, blue, purple. There's some rosy crowns as well. So we have this one that would be good with your pink one, your purple, and your blue. And I guess another purple. And then there's weapons, and I love these weapons. They're so nice. And I like that there's not just staffs, but there's, bows as well. Here's some other holiday rewards that we discovered. So, we already have the Love Boat. Was it not called Exquisite? Because I have that, and I use that all the time. Maybe that's a new Love Boat. And I'd love to know what the tune-out non-party members toy is. Can't wait to try that. There's also these cute animals. So not all of these are confirmed to be Love is in the Air animals. They could go with Noble Gardens for all we know, or they could just be random. But the last two are definitely Love is in the Air 100%. But the duck and the ladybugs are the uncertain ones. Another thing we discovered is the rainbow flag here. Now, the first thing I thought about from the rainbow flag, and this is probably just me being a Diablo player, but D3 came to mind immediately. It just reminded me of when I would go into the rainbow goblin worlds. And then this one's a masquerade theme. Now, masquerade theme and rainbow theme could imply 2 new events being added, which I think would be even cooler than adding new things to current events, is to have some new events. Yeah, so yeah, hard to say what the masquerade one would be. Maybe something with Dark Moon. The rainbow one, that one's hard to say too, because to me, I think D3. As far as the comment section, a lot of people are thinking Children's Week, which I guess that could make sense. Kids like rainbows. And then there's also some people that think Pride, right? Because Pride Month, whatever. But who knows? Who knows what? I really don't think they'd put an event in for Pride Month. I get that WoW is trying to acknowledge everything in the world, but at the end of the day, WoW is still a kid's game. We're just adults that continued playing it. But for the most part, it's cartoony. It's people call it a Disney game all the time. Why do you think that is? It's a game designed to bring kids in. You know, like most of us here were probably either a kid or an early adult when we started playing the game. Personally, what I think would be cool is if we had a Murloc event and the Murloc could belong to the rainbow, right? Because, you know, in D3, it's a goblin that belongs to the rainbow theme, more or less. So, like, same deal, you know? They're cute, they're short, yeah. Yeah, I gotta imagine, oh my god, I wonder how the WoW community would look at, like, if they totally brought over everything that's in the rainbow world in D3. I would love to see the community's feedback on that, because you know what that would involve, just for you guys that have never played D3? It would involve the rainbow, teddy bears, unicorns, gift boxes. Like, yeah, people call the game Disney right now. Wait. I'm actually really hoping that they do that now, because I would love to see those, you know, those people that are always like, this is a Disney game. Yeah, I would love to see them comment on unicorns and teddy bears. Oh god. I think lately I live for people that like hate WoW, you know, like, or just love to hate on it. I love reading their comments. We also got some troll hair customization. So there's 5 new colors here. There's also a new warlock customization for your Dark Glare Observer models. Here's one for the Beholder model. Definitely reminds me of Throne of Thunder boss. And then you have your Demonic Tyrant customizations. There's also some new Draenei skin color customizations. The Dreadlord armor set cosmetic items have been added in patch 10.2.5. There's also the new over-the-shoulder cloak model. And as you can see, there are a lot of colors. And it would totally make sense for these to be trading post items because, well, you guys have seen the trading post. We've had that same cloak but different colors sitting on it every month. And we're almost at a year into the trading post. February will mark 1 year. So that's a long time we've been seeing like the same cloak. So maybe it runs through its colors at that point and this is a new cloak. My guess is we start seeing this in February. That's my personal guess because that would mark a year. That would be around the time when maybe they would want to swap out that particular cloak look. Right? And yeah, it would make sense. And then with all the different colors, yeah, we've pretty much ran through all those colors with the current cloak. And yeah, I think we'll start seeing that around the same time we start seeing the Love is in the Air stuff hit the trading post. More Transmogs. This one belongs to the Dragonriding Cup. So this is Outlands, of course. So the Outland Drake Racer model. This is it. And then some tabs. So our next topic is some spring transmogs that will be coming into play. But before we show off that, I thought I would just let you know about this new mount that also kind of fits into this theme. It is called the Noble Flying Carpet. And quite possible belonging to Noble Garden. So I think it's probably going to be a vendor mount. Or it could be on the trading post. So there's the Spring Casual Armor. And there's a few colors to that. And then there's also Spring, is it bonnet or bonnet? I think it's bonnet is how they say it, but you know, they're hats anyway. And then spring weapons. There also was some monarch wings. So we have purple, pink, green, and orange. Okay, and then there's a bunch of roses that you can also, it's showing them in their mouth, so cute. And then there's also these buffs. So there's Rose of Friendship, increase all stats by 10% for 168 hours. And then Rose of Tragedy, increase all... Okay, it's exactly the same. So I don't understand why the Tragedy is a pro buff. I'm just gonna say, like, if I was, making the game, I would have made Rose of Tragedy one of those buffs that you don't want to collect. Like, it removes 10% of your stats for 168 hours. Yeah, that's how I would have done it. What's the point of having two of the same buff? Yeah, I think it should say decrease. Decrease all stats. Okay, before we end this section, I just discovered some more stuff that have to do with that masquerade thing. So there's these two face transmogs, helms, whatever you want to call them, and they are showing as a trader's tender item. So we've got the fluorescent split blade for 250 trader. The teal bulwark 200 trader. The champion's violet cleaver is showing 0 trader. So it might be, I don't know, I want to say the store, to be perfectly honest. I want to say the store, but it could be maybe part of, you know how this current month has like the weapon packs and there's a bunch of stuff in it? It could be part of that. And then we have the Arsenal Kelsarar Skyborn Blades, and that one's 500. There's also this ensemble here. So we got the pink one and a teal colored one. There's some toys. So this is the Delicate Jade Parasol. And there's 4 colors, and it's showing 200 trader points for that one. So that pretty much covers it as far as new trading post items that will be coming. None of those will be anything you'll see this year. You will not see them until at least January in 2024. My guess is more like February. I think Love is in the Air is going to start it all up, and then we'll see, some Love is in the Air. Noble Gardens will be shortly after that. And yeah, so I wouldn't bank on seeing any of this stuff until like February. So we have some promotion stuff. So Hearthstone will be celebrating its 10th anniversary in 2024. And I did just look it up. March 11th, 2014 is when Hearthstone launched. I cannot believe we've had Hearthstone for 10 years. I know we've had it for a while. I remember when it got announced, and it was basically the first mobile game. For them, of course you can play it on PC, but, to think it's been 10 years, it's, you're getting old when you don't realize some of these games you've been playing are so fucking ancient. Like, every time I think of how old WoW is, I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting so old. So the red one definitely looks a lot like the original Hearthsteed, just, it's red. And then we also have this Compass Rose. So the Compass Rose looks like it would probably be a toy. I don't think that's a mount. Like, yeah, it could be a saucer of some sort. It's not like we don't have saucer mounts in the game. But I think it's a toy personally because the next one that I'm about to announce is a pet, and it would just make sense to have a mount, a toy, and a pet. So I really don't think that Compass Rose is a mount. But the pet is Sarge who you might remember because there was another promotion when they introduced Battlegrounds in Hearthstone. There was a promotion to get Sarge the Mount, another really easy one to get. So this would be the matching pet, which I think is super cute. Sarge was a cute mount to go after, and now you could have his pet with him. One of the new features that was on that picture that I showed you of the PTR in the beginning of this whole discussion was follower dungeons. So this is what they look like. So to start a follower dungeon, you just open up your dungeon in raids, and there'll be a new category called follower dungeons. And there's going to be 8 Dragonflight dungeons on normal mode. Once you zone into a follower dungeon, you'll have a party of 4 NPCs. So these basically are solo dungeons. And yeah, they will just represent whatever you're not. Like, you know, if you're a tank, clearly one won't be a tank. It looks like they are the NPCs that you met during the Exile Reach. So it's going to be specific NPCs you'll always see from what I'm seeing. You know, that's how I'm understanding it. So here is who they are. You know, so you got a Prot Pally, a Resto Druid, a Fire Mage, and a Beast Mastery Hunter. I guess my question is, what if you are a Prot Paladin? Then is there another DPS they've got in the mix? You know, or would you just get 2 Austins? So basically, when you enter the dungeon, it sounds very much like when you're playing a hunter. So if you've ever played a hunter, which I imagine most of us have, it's gonna be like that, where you're the lead, and once you attack, your pet will, well, your NPCs will attack. So it's like being a hunter from my understanding. You know, you are fully in charge. They're not going to attack. You know, they're not going to more or less dictate which way you're going in the dungeon. You guide them and they help with damage or heals or tank. Now, I would like to know how good Captain Garrick is, honestly, because it would be cool to go in and just be like chill in my DPS, but I want to make sure that the tank, you know, can hold aggro when I'm critting. Like, I'm a boomkin. I can crit pretty big, and I'm known to steal aggro sometimes. So I gotta imagine they're situated for that. You know, in essence, you're playing with robots at that point, right? So they realistically should be the best healer in the game, the best tank in the game. Like, yeah, there should be no issues. But yeah, I am just curious, you know. So as normal, you'll get loot from bosses, but it's not guaranteed. And funny enough, when it was tested, it did show that if you happen to die in a follower dungeon, the NPCs will rage quit on you, which I thought was quite humorous. That was quite interesting. You know, for starters, the fact that they died to even find that out is hilarious. And then second, the fact that it's designed that way where the NPCs act like actual players, you know, because that's what would happen, you know, normally, especially if you were, you know, an important role, like if you were playing the tank or something. Or more specifically heals, because I think at any time if I've ever thought of like leaving a group because I thought they were shit, it's because the healer died first. You know, like, yeah. My thought has always been, if you can't keep yourself alive, how can you keep us alive? You know, so anyway, that's follower dungeons in a nutshell there. Okay, so Myst's weekly update. I have been playing a little more D4 lately, so we're back into it. I'm playing Season 2, and Arsenal was telling me this week that there is an experience buff in the game, so I'm going to be dedicating most of my streams to D4 this week. So the stream plan is Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I have a work meeting on Thursday, so I'm not gonna be around. But you guys have Thanksgiving, so it'll probably be okay. Because I'm from Canada. For those that are new to the channel, so I had Thanksgiving a month ago. So happy Thanksgiving ahead of time for you guys. So have a great Turkey Day on Thursday. And yeah, so the stream day or the stream plan is, I know you guys really like the mount farming days, so we're going to keep that as our WoW stream. So Wednesday I'll do mount farming in WoW, but the other streams will be Diablo. I want to see if I can get a little closer to 100 for the season. So I went slack mode in season 1, and I'm actually not minding this season. So I'd like to do a little better. And honestly, we're already past doing better. I only did 1 day in season 1, so And that's all I have to say for this video. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.